What's up, Lock Talk family? Hey man, we just had another blowout winning day yesterday. If you guys tapped into that last video, my return back to YouTube, I gave you guys an absolute gem, man. Cole Reagans and Tariq Skubal over 17.5 outs. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that was a blowout winner, man. You guys tapped in. You guys got absolutely paid. So let's go do it again, guys. I'm here to drop some more spots for you guys to attack in the player props, but overall in premium, we also absolutely cashed out. We went 4-0 on the day, every single play cash. I'll put some tickets up right here. So if you've been missing out, man, I don't know what to tell you, but hey, I also told you guys, what did I tell you guys yesterday? Sign up for the daily. I gave you guys all a free daily card if you came on my site, use that code. And you know what, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna make it super easy for you just so you guys can see what you guys can get. So the one promo code I want you guys to use is this code right here, video. You get 95% off your purchase, 95% off. I'll put the link down below with that code. You only get a few spots, only 20 spots in it. So if you guys want it, I put it out right there for you. If you guys want to tap in with premium, even for a longer term package, just hit me up personally on my Instagram or shoot me an email at thelocktalk@gmail.com. Nonetheless, let's go run it up. Let's have a great day today. And yeah, let's go talk about some games. So I don't know what I want to talk about yet. There's a bunch of spots I do like. You guys can take a look at kind of what I'm looking at. Nothing's confirmed there. I don't know what I'm going to actually give out in premium as of yet. I think today's a little bit difficult, but I'm going to name some spots where I do think we could have some opportunities. So the first one, I do like this spot though. Let me reduce my face, because even though, you know, I love my pretty face, if you guys want to see me, I know that the stats and everything else is where everything else lives, man. So, but before I go off and start dropping, you know, the spots that I do like, subscribe, and drop a comment, you know, just for that YouTube algorithm, man. It's tough to run it up on YouTube, but you know what? I love it, man. We've been absolutely giving some absolute gems out here. So let's talk about this first of all. So this is not the play I like. It's not Alec Marsh over the walks. What I'm kind of looking at is trying to attack Alec Marsh in some fashion. So we did support Cole Reagans yesterday. He was a left-handed pitcher. Arizona's pretty good against left-handed pitchers, but they've been very, very good, at least this month, against right-handed pitchers. And Alec Marsh, besides one game against Cleveland, has been and the Yankees, has been absolutely terrible. I mean, just take a look. 3 earned runs, 5 earned runs. Cleveland, somehow he got through that. Texas, 3 earned runs. Oakland has been actually getting us paid this year so far, and at least recently they've been doing pretty good. Yankees, somehow he was able to dust them, pitch the gem, and then all these other games right here. So I mean, this year hasn't been too favorable to him. If we look at his home starts, I mean, still 60% over this line. I do think over 2.5 earned runs, or maybe you could look at his walks, because I will say that these are the stats for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona Diamondbacks, at least in the last month, 10% walk rate, only a 20% K rate, and hitting with a WRC plus of 125. So I mean, they hit for power, they don't strike out that much, and they also walk, force guys to walk, they get guys on base. So yeah, man, I mean, in some fashion, I do want to target Alec Marsh, because I don't think he's gonna have a good run. You know, you could also say, like, why not, you know, maybe go on the other side and support, you know, Jordan Montgomery, and, you know, do like an Arizona first 5 or something like that. I mean, you can. Jordan Montgomery's not someone I like too much. Granted, the Royals have not been that great against left-handed pitching, but Jordan Montgomery's not someone that I really want to back. I just want to kind of target just Alec Marsh straight up. So I think the ways you can do it are earned runs. Maybe he gets a lot of walks. The K's, this one's a little tough, because I do think this line is pretty low. 4.5 is a tough line, bro. I mean, no matter how bad you are and how little a team strikes out, Arizona's kind of like on average strikeout rate. We've seen him pitch 6 to 5 innings. So if he gets to 6 innings, you may be stressing out on this strikeout prop a little bit. But even if he strikes out, guys, I do think he will have a tough time against this lineup. I mean, just take a look at some of these stats right here, right? Against Arizona, against right-handed pitchers, one of the best teams in terms of their stats. Alec Marsh actually pitches at a, you know, league average in terms of strikeout rate. So that's why I don't want to target strikeouts. But if we take a look at his pitch mix, right, the fastball, I mean, pretty good expected batting average. The slider, I mean, not as good. But the curveball, I mean, there's some guys here that absolutely blow out the water. Peterson, Marte, Newman, Perdomo. So this is why if I wanted to target Alec Marsh, I would look at his earned runs, which is sitting at 2.5. You know, at pretty decent odds, man. I mean, right now it's only on Caesars and the DFS apps. So maybe we'll have to wait and see if it's available on DraftKings and FanDuel, or his walks. Those are the two I like. I kind of looked at his outs, but there's another tricky line because it's at 15.5. He's been averaging around 16 to 17 outs. So if he has a decent outing, which, you know, will probably imply that he won't go over his earned runs, you know, we may be a little bit, it may be a little tough to see him go under this. So we'll see, man. I kind of like his earned runs because even if he goes late, right, let's say he pitches 6 innings, we could still get 3 earned runs on him, or even 2 walks. So that's kind of my first target, Alec Marsh, over 2.5 earned runs, or maybe over his walks. But I actually will say this. I think his walks are not as available. I mean, minus 163. So that's a much higher juice line. But like I said, Arizona's been one of the highest walk rate teams against right-handed pitching. Alec Marsh gives up a ton of walks, man. Just take a look at that. That's why I do like his earned runs, because if he gets guys on base, there's definitely a lot of chances for him to get some earned runs. But yeah, it's like, you know, look number 1. And another one I do want to look at is right here. This one's going to be a little bit of a controversial one, but I do have my reasonings for this one. So let's take a look at my man Luis Hill, who has kind of like fallen down a cliff, bro. He's fallen down a cliff from his amazing start, but he's been kind of picking it back together. We're gonna look at his under 6.5 strikeouts, and he's been going against the New York Mets, man. The New York Mets, who've been, you know, doing really good, but they're playing with some travel. So there's a reason why I'm not like super excited, but I do think the stats do support an under in some fashion, because 6.5's a lot, but who's he been playing against that, you know, he's been kind of striking out? He went against 2 times against Baltimore, had a much better outing. They got the win. That's when he had his first really bad outing, and that was right here. He only got 1 strikeout against Baltimore, and then his other time he went against the Mets, right, 2 strikeouts. Cincinnati, 3 strikeouts. He did really good against Boston. They've been striking out a pretty decent rate, much more against lefties, but, you know, against righties, 25% strikeout rate. The Mets, however, they've been striking out a pretty, you know, kind of like a league average. If you look at maybe through the past 30 days, one of the lower strikeout rates against right-handed pitching. I do think the Mets match up just very well against them in terms of the pitch mix. I mean, you take a look at the fastball, pretty low strikeout rate for most of these guys. Most of these guys are around 20%, especially the first few guys. And then the changeup, I mean, the Mets don't really strike out that much at all. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys couldn't even see that. I apologize. But look, the Mets are a very tough matchup for him. He's been pitching around 6 innings to 7 innings maybe. So I do think the Mets can lower that pitch count and, you know, force him to pitch a lot and not get striked out too much. I mean, last time out, they got 2. Will it repeat with the Orioles where, you know, he did really poor the first and the second time out he gets, you know, 7 strikeouts? I mean, maybe, guys, but I'll say this: Baltimore has actually been striking out a pretty decent rate, a little bit higher than the Mets. So I do like the Mets in this situation. I don't like that they're traveling, so maybe we could see some struggling bats coming up from Miami. But hey, nonetheless, I do think you know, Luis Hill will have a tough time. I think look at his strikeouts under could be a look, just like Alec Marsh. But like I said, man, these player props today are a little bit more difficult. But I do think this spot is not too bad. All right, let's talk about one more, man. One more, and this one's kind of like a plus money play right here. But I want to take a look at my man Chris Sale, and Chris Sale has been getting me paid at least this year so far. We had him when I was in Milan. We had a bet on him for either his outs or his Ks. I think he did cash out for us on that game. So nonetheless, I mean, he's been doing very well. 70% over his K rate at 7.5 in the last 10 games. And he's going to have a very favorable matchup, in my opinion, against this Cincinnati team who's been striking out a pretty high rate, man. Cincinnati is top 5 in terms of striker rate at a 29% striker rate in the last month, or at least this month in July. Of course, it's a little bit of a small sample size, only 231 pitching attempts, but I think that's a good amount, man. 231 pitching attempts is a lot. He had a tough outing against San Diego, but you know, they got the win there. Win against Arizona, a tough team to pitch against lefties though. And look at that, he got 9 strikeouts. We saw Reagan's, he didn't get that many strikeouts against them, and he got 9 against a team that's very, very tough. San Fran, a good team against lefties. He got 9 strikeouts against them. The White Sox, I mean, they're not that good. Yankees, tough team, man. Another tough team right here. So I do think, you know, Chris Sale has a good matchup here. And just take a look at that. The last 30 days, Cincinnati's the highest strikeout rate team in the MLB. Of course, look at their season stats, not as much. So again, I think he has a good spot right here to get 8 strikeouts. He definitely can do it. I think he has a good matchup. And we look at the pitch mix too. The slider. Just look at that, guys. It's pure red. I mean, the only guy that maybe he won't have a tough time against is like the guys in the bottom of the lineup. But for the most part, very high strikeout rate for a lot of these guys. In the fastball, not as much, but you got to look at this. I mean, the slider and then the changeup, 2 pitches that he could definitely get some strikeouts with, man. So those are 3 spots. House like Chris Sale, over 7.5 Ks. And again, guys, if you guys do want to tap in for the daily at that 95% off rate, I'm only doing it because I'm back on YouTube and I want to reward anyone who's listening to this, you know, to get rewarded for it, besides just all these good spots for the player props. But again, if you guys want to know exactly what I'm giving out to premium, get in premium, use that 95% off code. I'll put it in the pinned comment and the description down below. But if you guys do want a free way to get in for a free week, I also put some other links for some of our partner apps where you can sign up, DM me, and then we'll get you added in for absolutely free, guys. Thanks again for tapping in and watching this video. Let's cash out and have another great day, man. I'll talk to y'all soon.